Hey guys, how you all doing today and thing? You know what I mean? This one was suggested to me by one of my Canadian peeps. Okay, it's Tommy Prince, an Indigenous super soldier, and I do believe this is the story of a soldier of Indigenous heritage from Canada. Uh, I believe it was the Second World War, but let's go ahead and YouTube and simmer and see which one it is.
In the Second World War, Canada was one of the many countries that helped the Allies defeat the Axis powers. Canadians of all races and ethnicities, including at least 3,000 Indigenous people, volunteered to fight in the war and protect their home. Tommy Prince was one of them. Today, he is recognized as Canada's most decorated Indigenous soldier. Thomas George Prince, or Tommy Prince, was born in 1915 in the Brokenhead Band at Scatterbury, Manitoba. As a child, Tommy used to hunt around the Indigenous Reserve, and this helped him develop exceptional tracking skills. Prince enlisted in Army in 1940 and trained as a sapper. After 2 years, he realized that he was more interested in the front line rather than labor work, so he jumped an opportunity to join the 1st Canadian Special Service Battalion. This group of fine soldiers merged with an elite American unit and became known as the Devil's Brigade. This unit was a versatile assault group that specialized in reconnaissance and raiding, which was exactly what Prince excelled at. One of Prince's first tasks was to spy on the Nazis in Italy so as to deliver required information to destroy their positions. He observed the enemy quietly from an abandoned farmhouse 200 meters away from the Germans, and was able to report their actions to the main force via telephone wires. Suddenly, the phone line was cut by shelling, and Prince lost communication with the main force. However, he quickly came up with a clever plan to fix the situation. He kept calm and dressed himself as a harmless farmer and went out into the field. He pretended to weed his crops in front of the German soldiers while secretly looking for the damaged line. Then he simply knelt down, pretending to tie his shoelaces, and quickly fixed the lines. The Germans paid him no mind. He returned back to the abandoned farmhouse with no trouble and continued sending his
Wow.
reports. Thanks to his quick thinking, the Devil's Brigade managed to destroy all of the German positions, and he earned a military medal for this service. A few months later, Prince were sent on a mission to scout the enemy camps along with his friend.
You know, a lot of different people contributed to the two world wars, and I don't remember if it was the first or the Second World War, but they use I do believe it was the Cherokee language uh, to communicate, which the Germans didn't know that language, so then they didn't know what was happening and stuff. You know what I mean? It's a pity that more of them wasn't documented, because they had to be way more participating and doing heroic acts. You know what I mean? You just hear of the one dominant group that did stuff. You know what I mean? Now, here's the thing. The question I have is, what I'm noticing here is that doesn't seem like he was segregated, like those of African descent was segregated here in the States. They had the black regiment and they had the white regiment, and nobody could go back and forth, and they couldn't join, they couldn't hang out together. Uh, I did a reaction to a video. I think it's Barber Bridge in England, where there was a conflict between the African American soldiers and the Caucasian American soldiers, and the British soldiers took up for the African American soldiers. You know what I mean? I'll leave a link to that in the description, or a link to that in somewhere in the screen here, so that you all could go check that out. But it's pretty cool to know that these guys are being told of in history in Canada. You know what I mean? It's not. It doesn't seem like it's glazed over or anything like that. They seem really proud of his contribution and wanted to go, because this here was suggested to me by a Canadian. Check this out, And so far, it's quite interesting. His contribution seemed to be quite important for what he was doing.
They hiked 24 kilometers behind enemy lines and came across a squad of French partisans who were surrounded by a German platoon. Prince and his partner were outnumbered, but they couldn't simply leave the French behind. The two men took sniping positions and started firing at the Germans. Prince ended up killing 6 German soldiers and injuring a few more. The German commander, overwhelmed, quickly ordered his men to escape, and the partisans were saved. Afterwards, Prince and his partner came out of the hiding and greeted the French soldier's commander. When he asked where the rest of Prince's troops were, he simply pointed to his private, which deeply shocked the French. He said he thought there had to have been at least 50 people who attacked the Germans. The French officer quickly sent a courier to the French commander-in-chief, Charles de Gaulle, to recommend Prince for the Croix de Guerre, but the courier was killed en route and Prince was never awarded with his medal. Nevertheless, Prince had to carry on his original mission. The group walked over 70 kilometers through a mountainous terrain and endured without food, water, or sleep for 72 hours. The effort was definitely worth it, as the Devil's Brigade managed to capture an entire German battalion thanks to Prince's hard work. For this service, he was awarded with a U.S. Silver Star. Only 59 Canadians had received this medal in the Second World War, including Prince. After the Second World War, and during the subsequent war in Korea, he became a part of the 2nd Battalion and was sent to Korea. Prince performed magnificently, but war was taking its toll on his body. He developed a severe case of arthritis in his knee and was discharged back home. While he wished to return back to the battlefield, his health got in the way, and he was forced to retire. However, even after retirement, he received the Korea Medal and the United Nations Korea Medal for his service. Today, there are several streets in Winnipeg and Calgary named after Prince, and he's also been commemorated in statues and plaques. While life was harsh for this brave soldier, but his sacrifices helped make Canada a safer place for both Indigenous and non-Indigenous Canadians.
Okay, that was interesting. Oh, thank you so much for suggesting this. You also suggested another person, and I have that video to react to. I don't remember the name, but thank you so much for suggesting this. Keep the suggestions coming, you all. Down in the description. Now, I'm going to put. Actually, my email address is in the description. Please send any videos to that email address that you would like to see me react to. Because I have it set up so that if you put it in the comments, sometimes YouTube will block it. I have it set up so that it will be blocked. And I'll explain why I have it set up that way, because it's some people have said their videos, their comments have been blocked and stuff. It just depends on what you say in there. But I'll do a specific video explaining that, put it up sometime next week, as to why I have it set up so stringent. But this was quite interesting. I hope you guys found this as interesting as I have. Like I said, keep the suggestions coming. I want to learn as much as I can. I don't have much left, much time left. That was a bad joke, but in the meantime, you all take care of each other, all right? Cool runnings.